When you talk about what it's going to take for the Raiders to come out on top against the New England Patriots, you have to start in the trenches. I mean, football at its core is always won and lost at the line of scrimmage. And for the Raiders, the offensive line is going to set the tone for everything. It's not just about giving Geno Smith time to throw, though that's obviously critical, but it's also about creating lanes for the running game and establishing a rhythm that can carry the entire offense. If Kolton Miller, Dylan Parham, Jordan Meredith, JPJ, and DJ Glaze can handle their assignments, we're looking at the Raiders being able to dictate the pace of this game right from the first snap. There's a lot of talk about Geno's ceiling, and the reality is that when he has protection and space, he's one of the top quarterbacks in the league. Geno indoors, in a controlled pocket, elite. Geno outdoors, under pressure, more inconsistent. That contrast is going to be a huge storyline here, because if the offensive line falters even slightly, the Patriots' pass rushers are going to make him uncomfortable, and that could be the difference between a first-quarter touchdown and a drive that stalls in the red zone. But it's not just the passing game that depends on these guys. If the Raiders can establish the run early, everything opens up. Ashton Gentry and the rest of the backfield are going to have a chance to impose their will. Running the football effectively forces the defense to respect the ground game, which in turn gives the receivers more room to operate downfield. Chip Kelly's offense thrives on that verticality, on stretching the field and forcing defenders to make choices they don't want to make. And this is exactly where the Raiders can find an edge. If the offensive line is dominant in those first 10 to 15 plays, the Patriots are going to have to adjust. They're going to have to rethink matchups, which could lead to mistakes or missed assignments. And in a game that feels like it could be decided by inches, those small victories in the trenches could translate into major momentum swings. Physicality is another thing to watch. Sometimes the team that's just a little bit tougher, a little bit more willing to throw its body around, ends up controlling the flow of the game. You look at these two coaching staffs, you've got Mike Vrabel and Pete Carroll, both known for getting their players to buy into a physical, disciplined approach. The Raiders are going to have to match that intensity. It's not enough to execute the plays on paper. They have to execute them with a level of aggression and focus that makes the Patriots think twice before challenging them on any given snap. That mental edge, the sense that the Raiders are going to come at you and not back down, could be as impactful as any single play on the field. Football is as much about intimidation and confidence as it is about excess and OS, and this game is shaping up to be a perfect example of that principle in action. Adjustments are another key element. Good teams, championship-caliber teams, have the ability to pivot to see something on film or in real time and respond in a way that keeps the other team off balance. The Raiders are going to face an offense that's going to try to adapt on the fly, led by Josh McDaniels. McDaniels is creative, no question about it, and he's going to have a plan. But the Raiders, with Chip Kelly calling plays, have to be ready to counter and counter again. Whether the Raiders score on their first drive or get stopped cold, the coaching staff and the players themselves have to be mentally agile. Each quarter brings new challenges, new opportunities for momentum shifts, and the team that can adjust faster and more effectively is the team that's going to have the advantage when the fourth quarter clock is winding down. It's a chess match, and every decision, every substitution, every play call carries weight. One of the subtler keys that might get overlooked is testing Christian Gonzalez. This is a guy who hasn't participated fully in practice all summer. The Raiders need to know early on if he's truly ready to go at full speed. That means running him through a few early snaps, pushing the boundaries, seeing if his hamstring can handle stress under game conditions. There's a calculated risk here. If he's not 100%, there's potential for injury, but sometimes you have to take risks to gather information that could define the game. Testing him in the first quarter with strategic matchups and deep routes will give the coaching staff a real-time look at his readiness, and that intelligence can guide decisions for the rest of the game. It's an example of being proactive rather than reactive, and that mindset could be exactly what separates a Raiders win from a frustrating loss. Defensively, limiting the big plays is non-negotiable. The Patriots have offensive weapons who can change the game in an instant, and the Raiders' secondary needs to stay disciplined. Giving up a home run play can completely flip momentum, energize the opponent, and make your own players tentative. Eric Stokes will have his hands full, and the defensive coordinators will have to rotate, communicate, and anticipate. The Raiders' defense is built to stop the run and control the first 20 yards. And if they can hold that space and force methodical drives, they're putting the Patriots in a position where they have to make mistakes. McDaniel's offense thrives underneath, yes, but they need explosive plays to sustain momentum. If the Raiders can contain those explosive plays, the game tilts in their favor. It's about pressure, discipline, and keeping your composure when the offense tries to test your limits. Red zone efficiency is another critical factor. The Raiders have struggled historically when inside the 20, and they cannot afford to continue that trend. Touchdowns are what win games, not field goals. Converting in the red zone requires precision, patience, and execution at the highest level. The coaching staff must ensure that when the offense gets close, they finish the job. On the defensive side, bending but not breaking, forcing the Patriots to settle for field goals instead of touchdowns, is essential. In a tightly contested matchup, these small differences accumulate into major advantages. Last season's percentages were too close to call, and the Raiders simply cannot allow themselves to repeat those mistakes. Every opportunity in the red zone has to be maximized. This is where games are won and lost, where execution meets preparation in the most visible way possible. Special attention must also be paid to the Patriots' star players. Stefon Diggs, their big-ticket acquisition, can change the complexion of a drive instantly. Eric Stokes' matchup against him is going to be pivotal. It's a test of skill, preparation, and mental toughness. The Raiders have to play disciplined zone coverage, mix looks, and keep Diggs from getting into rhythm. Every defender on the field has to be alert, communicating, and ready to adjust in real time. One lapse could lead to a huge play, which could lead to a swing in momentum, which in a game this close might be the difference between victory and defeat. Overall, when you put it all together, the Raiders' keys to victory are rooted in fundamentals, physicality, preparation, and adaptability. Dominating the line of scrimmage, establishing the run, protecting the quarterback, controlling the deep ball, red zone execution, and strategic testing of opponents' weaknesses. These elements combine to give the Raiders the best chance to win against a Patriots team that's disciplined, physical, and strategically clever. This is a matchup where inches, decisions, and mental toughness matter just as much as the plays themselves. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Las Vegas Raiders. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. In an astonishing twist that has sent shockwaves throughout the NFL, Terry McLaurin, the indomitable wide receiver whose name has been synonymous with Washington Commanders' offensive firepower for years, has reportedly decided to leave the nation's capital and is now heading to the Las Vegas Raiders. Sources close to the matter suggest that this move, which insiders are calling one of the most surprising free agent maneuvers in recent memory, was set in motion after intense negotiations between McLaurin and Raiders management, fueled by whispers of ambitious promises and visions of glory under the desert sky. Fans of the Commanders are reportedly in disbelief, with social media platforms exploding with reactions ranging from stunned disbelief to bitter disappointment. While McLaurin's on-field statistics have consistently placed him among the league's elite wide receivers, it seems his decision to don silver and black is also influenced by off-field factors, including the organization's commitment to building a competitive, championship-caliber roster. Meanwhile, speculation is rampant that McLaurin's presence in Las Vegas could dramatically reshape the Raiders' offensive identity, creating an electrifying tandem with their current quarterback that rivals even the most celebrated receiver-quarterback duos in recent NFL history. With analysts already projecting a substantial uptick in both team morale and on-field production, if the rumors materialize as reported. Sources close to Terry McLaurin's inner circle suggest that the wide receiver has long harbored ambitions that extend beyond Washington, and the Raiders, with their storied history and flair for dramatic acquisitions, may have presented the perfect opportunity for him to step into a new chapter. Insiders claim that McLaurin's decision was not solely motivated by financial incentives, though the contracts reportedly involved are substantial, but also by a desire to play in an environment where his skill set could shine without the constant scrutiny and pressure he faced in Washington. The Raiders' coaching staff, known for their innovative schemes and aggressive passing attack, is said to be tailoring their playbook around McLaurin, a testament to the high expectations placed on his shoulders. Meanwhile, social media platforms and sports forums are abuzz with speculation, creating a whirlwind of predictions about the synergy between McLaurin and the Raiders' offensive unit. From casual fans to die-hard NFL analysts, the narrative seems unanimous. McLaurin's arrival could signal a seismic shift in the Raiders' offensive potential. Yet, skepticism persists among some pundits who question whether this transition from a familiar, consistent environment to a new team culture will affect McLaurin's performance in the early stages of his tenure. The ripple effects of McLaurin's move extend beyond Las Vegas, as Commanders fans are grappling with the sudden void left by their star wide receiver, and the franchise itself is now under intense scrutiny regarding its player retention strategy. Analysts are drawing parallels to other high-profile departures in recent NFL history, noting that while the loss of a key player can initially destabilize a team, it often serves as a catalyst for organizational reflection and long-term adaptation. In Washington, discussions are emerging about how the team might recalibrate its offensive approach, seeking to fill the void with a combination of emerging talent and strategic acquisitions. Though replacing McLaurin's experience and on-field impact is universally acknowledged as a daunting task. Meanwhile, sports commentators are speculating on the psychological implications for the Raiders' locker room, emphasizing how integrating a high-profile, highly skilled receiver could elevate team dynamics or, conversely, create unforeseen challenges in establishing cohesion. Rumors also suggest that McLaurin's move might inspire additional player interest in the Raiders, sparking a potential wave of transfers and negotiations in the weeks to come, as other athletes weigh the appeal of joining a team that now boasts arguably one of the league's most electrifying receiving threats. Fans in Las Vegas are reportedly already reacting with a mixture of exhilaration and cautious optimism, flooding forums, social media accounts, and fan blogs with predictions of high-scoring games and spectacular plays featuring their rumored new star. Sports analysts are dissecting every possible angle, from McLaurin's route-running precision to his ability to adapt to the Raiders' offensive schemes, debating whether this acquisition could finally give the team the explosive edge they have been seeking for years. Meanwhile, speculation has intensified about how the Raiders' quarterback will adjust to having a receiver of McLaurin's caliber on his roster, with insiders suggesting that practices and preseason games will be closely scrutinized for indications of chemistry and compatibility. The buzz surrounding McLaurin is not confined to local circles, as national outlets are now speculating on potential playoff implications, projecting how a fully integrated McLaurin could shift the balance of power in the AFC. Simultaneously, rumors continue to swirl regarding McLaurin's personal motivations, lifestyle preferences, and even charitable initiatives, with some sources hinting that Las Vegas provides not only a professional opportunity, but also a personal environment conducive to his long-term ambitions both on and off the field. Despite the whirlwind of excitement and speculation, the full impact of Terry McLaurin's move remains a matter of conjecture, with industry insiders cautioning that while the talent is undeniable, translating individual brilliance into team success requires a complex interplay of coaching, strategy, and cohesion. Nevertheless, the narrative dominating sports talk shows, podcasts, and online communities is that this potential Raiders acquisition could define the next era of both the player's career and the franchise's legacy, marking a pivotal moment in the NFL landscape. Observers note that McLaurin's track record, characterized by consistency, speed, and an uncanny ability to create separation from defenders, makes him an ideal candidate to flourish under a system designed to maximize his talents. Though adaptation to a new city, culture, and team expectations will be a critical factor. Meanwhile, rival teams are reportedly reassessing their defensive strategies in anticipation of matchups against a Raiders offense potentially transformed by McLaurin's presence. As the rumor mill continues to churn analysts, fans, and insiders alike are caught in a blend of excitement and uncertainty, awaiting confirmation of what could be one of the most talked about moves in NFL history, and speculating on how Terry McLaurin's bold decision to leave Washington might ultimately reshape not only the Raiders but the league as a whole. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Las Vegas Raiders, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.